Hello, guys. Thanks for the audience today. Today is August 27th, 2025. I am Professor Julio Rezende, and I will be talking about space psychology. Uh, we just did this presentation, but each time when we are doing the preparing myself to do this presentation, I'm have opportunities to do updates about related to how to communicate about space psychology because I consider this is one of the most important topics for the future of space sustainability. And I'm very happy about and also dedicating many hours about this topic in terms of updates, in terms of communication about space psychology. And also a little bit about me. I have a bachelor on psychology and also management. I consider these two fields of studies very with a great integration and also very important in terms of sustainability. And I did my postdoc in University of Central Florida when we started to study about analogs. And since we just developed more than 200 protocols and surveys and more than 210 missions, and also operating Habitat Marte during the last 7 years. In this presentation, I will be talking about three main goals about motivation, empowerment, and inspiration. Motivation relates to motivate yourself to a life project. Empowerment, and empower yourself with knowledge to make changes. And also inspiration connected to get inspired to new perspectives. Related to the first topic, uh, deeply connected with space psychology, we are inviting each one of you to motivate yourself. And this is related to ask yourself what your personal trajectory will be and how do you imagine your future and how would be the steps for a sustainable life and how would be this trajectory. And since we are very in very early stage, we are thinking about these questions. Since my oldest memory, I also have these questions with myself, and I believe probably many of us watching this presentation today is bringing these questions about what motivates each one of you. And also, one of the important psychologists is the Carl Jung, and he said that the most terrifying things is to accept oneself completely. And also, I'd like to comment that each one of us, we have like we have shadows. This is a concept of Jung, like our dark side. That is we need also to watch this dimension of each one of us, because sometimes this would bring some bad things that we have in our personal experience. This would bring like hurtings to sometimes we are hurting ourselves, sometimes we are hurting other people, and also sometimes hurting the community. And also it's in concept of the Carl Jung need to watch our shadows to deal with it and to be a better person. In this case, it's very important investing in personal sustainability and what was called by Carl Jung as a process of individuation. Um, and this process is called by me by personal sustainability, and also expanding the concept of sustainability, because sustainability, normally we are talking about social, economic, and environmental sustainability, and I'm talking about personal sustainability when we are looking for the person. What are the steps for this person be in a better condition, mentally speaking? Okay, and in this case, motivating yourself is the first point, but for to be to do all the steps is very important the empowerment. Each one of you develop the process of empowering yourself, and probably this the process of empowering in empowerment would be through the knowledge. Okay, and also Habitat Max providing is committed to provide a good psychology experiment, and also this is deeply connected, related to we bring like new knowledge related to space sustainability that is what we have showing and bringing during our in-person and virtual missions. And the goal is how to be happy and how to think about space and collaborate to high states of consciousness. And also, Habitat Mart, in our case, I will talk a little bit about how we are uh, considering our infrastructure to provide this experience. And the analogs, there is many around the world, as you can see here in this map, and also you can apply to some of them to participate in in-person missions. But for now, Habitat Mart is the only space analog station in the world offering uh, virtual missions. And in virtual missions, we are observing many aspects that can invite you to think about how to develop astronaut mindset. And this presentation today is very connected in terms of guidelines about think about this perspective. And we are based here in the corner of South America, the western portion in Americas, close to Africa and Europe. And also I live in Natal, and Natal is in the coast. Also is the airport to some people traveling to Brazil to participate in-person missions. The destination airport is Natal, yeah, that is Marte is based in the countryside. We present three different sites, the Habitat Marte, Luna Habitat, and Lava Cave Habitat, and building a fourth habitat that will be Lago Ceres, or here, the Lago Ceres, and probably will be cosmic habitat, because will be a site that we are preparing ourselves to watch this constellation, to watch the sky here in this location. It's an area where it presents 36 degrees of to watch the sky. Okay, some photos also. We presented the biohabitat is our greenhouse, where is a very important place to a good psychology experience. We started during December 2017. It's operating in semi-arid of northeast of Brazil. And all the facilities, the lava cave, where we did many updates during the years. Yes. And also the Luna habitat. Now we just had participants from more than 10 countries traveling to Brazil, and more than 210 missions in person and virtual. Some challenge in the missions is think about good and safe infrastructure to provide a good psychology experience to participants. And also it's very important to think about protocols. And the protocols are connected to pre-mission moment. Also, protocols are operated mailing during the mission and also post-mission. And we'll be talking about these three moments when we have the psychology experience happening. In pre-mission, It's before the mission when many aspects are common between space analog missions and real space missions. Astronauts candidates would experience aspects like anxiety, fear, doubt, envy, and criticisms. Uh, are these common excites between a real astronaut and an analog astronaut? And I believe yes, some circumstances and some experience are common between analog astronauts and a real astronaut. And also, a real astronaut lives like a crossroad uh, between dedicated to existing careers, and also like very well known careers like engineer or a physician or a manager, or to build astronaut technology to be seen uh, would be seen as a futurist lunatics suffering and being criticized by society and maybe having the professional career jeopardized. Also, being astronaut in Brazil even more difficult due, due to low investments in science. And we need to think about how to balance these perspectives in terms of like a traditional professional career and also an innovative professional career that would be considered to be an astronaut. And astronauts seems to deal to be always available for a space agenda, such as accepting invitations to participate in events and not being able to commit to other professional agendas, thus remaining in a perpetual state of waiting for to work in space activities. Astronauts present a committed behavior already demonstrated in the time of the selection process. And astronauts can be great employees for a company, but they are already married to the space world. Some possible difficulties to participate in a analog mission: availability of time, difficulty related to time zones, financial resources, locations of the analog habitat, distrust or lack of confidence in the analog habitat, organization of the mission, because the participant is exposed to a very new situation in other aspects. How family and friends would support the choice to become an astronaut. Sometimes would present criticism, sometimes indifference, and sometimes family and friends would support this experience. Now we'll be talking about protocols. Protocols are very important to the experience and also are very important to bring order, not only in terms of work, but also in terms of psychology experience. Protocols can contribute to well-designed tasks and planning to avoid stress and anxiety, to promote health, to avoid health risks, to bring confidence to participants, and for satisfaction about to learn new skills. And in this case of, we present protocols to guide the preparation. For example, we before the mission we shared like guidelines about preparation, physical workouts. In this case, in Habitat Marte, done by Gabriel Mateus. It's also important about present patience and alert about the adaptiveness to a great variety of cultural aspects, food, music, and also the last topic, the importance of funding. Also, we present exact personality inventory revised when we have like impulse missions. Okay, these are some topics that I present before the mission, and now I will be talking about situations during the mission when the participants would present a different experience of psychology dynamics. Some topics related to some situations that would experience, and isolation and confinement, interpersonal conflicts, conflicts sometimes related to management and leadership, cognitive emotional stress, uh, changes in terms of circadian rhythm and lips disruption, and cultural and personal differences between members of the mission. Related to isolation and confinement, crew members may feel cut off from family, friends, and familiar surroundings, potentially leading to loneliness and decreased morale. Isolation can sometimes mirror the feelings astronauts experience in space as they are far from Earth and their support systems. Also, we can observe reduced social interaction, limited access to people outside the crew can cause monotony and strain personal relationships. The lack of variety of social interactions and restricted living environment can exacerbate tensions. In the next slide, we'll be talking about the physical isolation. In this case, Habitat Marte presents some heritage from the colonial process because we are in an isolated area. In this case, this place where we are located, the colonization happened during the process of the century 16th. And also we have in this area the cowboys known as vaqueiros, and they have like a great challenge about to live in these conditions because it's the right side of your screens like a dry twigs, and they need to they care cows, they like the livestock, and they need to run to catch these cows and bring back to the farm. And here's an example of Brazilian cowboy vest, like in Portuguese it's called gibão, and it's used to work in this hard condition. Also protect us from the sun and also from the spikes in the vegetation. Okay, living challengeful conditions would bring learners about how we be our life in a rush environments as Mars and Moon, in my point of view. Uh, the cultural experience in Habitat Marte. In this case, I'd like to comment that Brazil presents different cultures. It's not a homogeneous culture because sometimes we are hearing about samba, but for example, samba is in Rio de Janeiro, and also in this area of Brazil presents like a different culture. Also, Brazil is very huge in terms of size, and also like we can see this diversity when we are traveling through Brazil from different regions in the same country because it's like a continental culture. And also this would bring some learnings or some ideas to inspire our missions. Think about what is good in our culture maybe can be good for sustainable human presence on interplanetary habitats. And this also is my suggestion to you to reflect in your culture, in your country, what kind of interesting cultural aspects would be interesting to the life on Mars or Moon. The participants in our Space and Log mission, please comment in our WhatsApp group what interesting aspect of your culture or from your country would be interesting for the experience on Mars and Moon. Sometimes would be like some cultural, like would be like some a typical dance or a typical kinds of art. Sometimes a different gastronomy or like some religious practice. And all of these are elements of the culture that would be interesting to we transport to Mars and Moon, to space habitats, and also happens the exchange between members of the mission, because probably we'll have also in our analog missions and also in future space missions, like the exchange of cultural aspects brought by the astronauts. And the cultural experience in Habitat Marte is more focused in Brazilian Northeastern culture. And our question, how Brazilian Northeastern culture would let the space and log missions very unique. A good cultural experience during a space and log missions is a base to a health society that would be replied in future habitat on Mars and Moon. We believe that Brazilian non-fishing cultures is a valuable way to encourage healthy living in analog missions in future habitats on Mars and Moon. The isolation in Brazilian countryside is has intrinsic elements that would collaborate to resilience and solidarity. Also, very interesting the music, the gastronomy, and also the other cultural expressions. Humanity will not only survive on new worlds, but will also contribute to the flourish of new culture by bringing with the richness and cultural diversity that characterize the human experience on Earth. Cultures around the world will help shape extraplanetary future, rich in diversity, meaning, and connection to our healthy roots, earthly roots. And yes, this is interesting because, for example, we have different kinds of cultures on Earth, but on Mars, since we arrived there, we start to build like a new culture, and how this would happen, and what kind of new culture would be emerged on Mars or Moon. Okay, and also some reasons about we have this station in Brazil in our location is related to geographic loneliness and psychology experience. Yes, also we can see the geographic loneliness not only Brazil but in different places on Earth. For example, U.S. Old West this is a photo of Nevada desert, and also Canada Devon Island, where is operating the flashline habitat, also in Gobi Desert, in other desert areas around the world. And other aspects to consider in isolated areas is to build research and learn from self-sustaining habitat systems. For example, in Brazil, we present like we look to operate as a self-sustaining habitat related to smart sanitation. Also, recently we installed the desalination plant. Also, we present controlled food production and also solar energy and observation of healthy aspects, and also the use of technologies, information and communication technologies, and also for monitoring. And also, now I will be talking about the second topic of that would consider during our missions is related to interpersonal conflicts and conflict management and leadership, and how interpersonal conflicts would emerge. Sometimes resource scarcity, limited resources in space habitat. And this is related to management because we need to calculate how would be the necessary elements for the mission be happening. And also other topic would be diverse backgrounds of participants in terms of age, gender, and academic background, and also personality differences, unclear roles, miscommunication, personal issues intrinsic to the person, sometimes mindset, sometimes habits, for example, time of wake up or time to sleep, etc. Manage conflicts and leadership demands, the awareness on the possible sources. And also the topic cognitive and emotional experience. Sometimes would happen stress from the mission tasks. Space and log missions often involve challenging tasks, strict schedules, and simulations of high stakes situations which can elevate stress levels. Emotional fatigue, repeated exposure to routine and monotony combined with a high stress demands of the mission can cause emotional fatigue or burnout. Keeping mental engagement is essential for sustaining motivation. In this case, with cognitive and emotional stress is the highest challenge. How to we can manage this during a space analog mission, and it's very for to deal with this stress is very important a safe environment, a good infrastructure of support, a good team of support, good planning, and good opportunities of learning and how to operate a relaxed music, relaxed mission. Music can be very interesting for the mission. Also, good sleeping behavior, creative food and meals during the mission, and also adequate sleeping condition for the good resting and also good health recovery of participants. Not expect situations that would happen during the mission, lack of sympathy, isolation, depression, competitiveness, self-sabotage, or sabotage. In this case, a good selection process can avoid unpleasant situations. And how to promote the high states of consciousness, well-planned activities, good program of activities, facilities in good conditions of operations, good meals, relaxing times, and relaxing. Here is some. It's good to present plants aboard, like one of our missions. Take care of the greenhouse. Also, here is a space yacht initiatives. Also, this also like equipment designed by Natalia Rasbun, and also there is a we present an infrastructure for underwater extravehicular activity where we develop some protocols in this swimming pool. Extravehicular activities, observe the sky. Yes, and yes, and also the a fourth aspect is observation of circadian rhythm, sleep disruptions. Poor sleeping not will be good for health and recovery. This would bring lack of attention. And when you are having lack of attention, this would bring stress and risk of conflicts and risks of accidents. The alternative is a deep meditation technique, like a mindset that being conducted by Natalia Rasbun. Also, observation of cultural and personal differences, managing diversity with crews often composed of individuals for different backgrounds, different cultural norms, work expectations, social behaviors can sometimes create misunderstanding or discomfort. And respect for individual space and boundaries, understanding and respecting each other's boundaries becomes crucial in confined environments where personal space is limited. And also procedures in emergency situation. Try to be calm, not entering the problem, supporting the person in crisis. Understand the problem, had a person of support, internal, external, and a point of contact. And now I started my last consideration in this presentation about space psychology. We talked about the importance of motivation. Secondly, we talking about the empowerment, the knowledge that we need to create related to operation of a space analog mission. And the third topic is the third dimension of my presentation is related to inspiring. In this case, I consider in terms of inspiring like a perspective that would change the mindset, and it's very important the process of we expand our consciousness, and for this is very important like we have the opportunities of the overview effect experiences. This term was coined by Frank White. He's a meeting with him last year, But in my point of view, the only explaining, also the Frank White wrote a book, The Overview Effect, Space Exploration and Human Evolution. And the overview effect was the experience that the astronauts had when they watched the planet Earth from the space, and also observed the planet floating in the cosmos, and also the was possible to see the planet Earth like a unique ecosystem. And this was very transformative, had been very transformative for astronauts see the planet Earth from other perspective. But in the experience of Habitat Marte, there is many ways to explore and try to bring the feeling of this overview effect experience. For example, meditation, mandalas, sunset observations, astronomy observation, astronomical storytelling, and satellites observation. For example, in where Habitat Mars is located, between 6 and 7 p.m., is possible to watch some satellites crossing the sky, and this happens if you have like a good sky condition to observe. And here, like sometimes we are using some apps like Skyview or Stellarium to watch this constellation. In this very sometimes it's possible to watch the international international space station also crossing the sky. Yeah, it's very unique when we have this experience to watch the International Space Station, because we are in a space analog mission, and also there is other astronauts uh, crossing the sky, and we are connected in the same way. And something that I'd like to say is an invitation to a change of mindset, is that we are all astronauts, because we are in a planet traveling the cosmos, sometimes more close to the sun, sometimes more far, uh, when compared when comparing our location in the universe. And in this case, our planet is traveling. If you analyze the terminology, the etymology of the word astronaut, astro is stars, and nauts are travelers. In this case, in the root of meaning of astronauts, this word means the travelers of stars. And in reality, all of us, we are traveling in the cosmos based in our planet. But what happens is we are forgetting this experience. We are not connected with our experience. We are very earthly attached, and are looking to the soil, looking to the floor, but not looking to the sky. And it's very important we see the possibilities to change this perspective, this mindset. Here, like a photo, no, a representation about where we are between 2 trillions of galaxies in the universe, and we are very small, and also traveling based on our planet. And yes, and also it's very, this is here is in Portuguese, but it's a pale blue dot. It's a photography done by Voyage 1 in a distance of 6 billions of kilometers, and also registering our planet very small in the cosmos. And we are really travelers, or really astronauts traveling in the cosmos. Okay, and to conclude, also I mentioned about we have like a pre missions activities, and happens a lot of activities during the mission, and post mission we develop research we based in the data that we are collecting. Data collecting space and log missions helps to understand how is the psychology experience during space and log missions. Okay, and to conclude, all of us, we are participating in a process of to create a new cultural movement. When we are living a transitional time from terrestrial to extraterrestrial life. Also, recently we have like a very well done test of Starship that would be considered like a logistics system to transport the our civilization to our planets like Mars. We had a challenge to create a new cultural movement mixing Brazilian sertão, caatinga, and space, and how cowboy culture can way of living would be connected to astronaut experience. What are the links between these both experience? And also healthy societies for sustainable life on Mars and Moon. We would be important bring questions like how we would build a health society, how cultural elements of a country are useful and positive about thinking extraplanetary society, and which elements from your culture would be welcome for a new space culture. And the conclusion, keep going. It's not easy. This trajectory will have many challenges during this process, and also like as is in other presentation that we have, we are mentioned that some astronauts, like a Mexican astronaut, applied 12 times to become a real astronaut. And like sometimes this process will be like many tests, many initiatives, and the most important is try to enjoy this process, and believe in yourself, and also look in your potential, be motivated, empower, and also the last perspective that I mentioned, like being inspired, looking new knowledges, like the process just mentioned by Frank White, called overview effect. Okay, and thanks so much. And this is my WhatsApp, and you can contact me anytime. Also, I will conclude my record.